What up? We about to do this. NFL action. Up next, Rob Dollars. You know where you at already. Let me stop that. Let's get right into it. Um, we had the divisional round. I gave my predictions and thoughts on episode one on how these games would go. So you can look back and see what was what. You know what I'm saying? How accurate and much I'm keeping it. A buck and what have you. Feel free to call me out if you feel like I'm going off the rails. But anyway, game one of the divisional round, we had the Houston Texans Cinderella story. My man CJ Stroud just totally just stunting out in year one. You know what I'm saying? Stunting out. And then we had him though. He running into the buzzsaw that is the Baltimore Ravens. And listen, man, started the game, I thought, oh, we're going to have a battle because CJ Stroud and the Texans came out with zero fear of the Ravens. They went right at them. It was a nice little early spurt, I felt like, and then it slowed down a little bit. But the Texans were just surprising me in the fact that they were able to keep up with Lamar and co. And they were able to work the field a little bit against the Baltimore's defense. So again, just exceeding expectation. Let's see, what did I write for notes real quick? Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, no, they just, again, the Texans in the first half, showed out. They was like totally showing that they were fearless and that they were definitely willing to, go out here and try to be ballers. But we ended the first half, tie game, 10-10. And what happened in the second half was all that experience factor showed up for Lamar and co. The defense turned it up another notch. And definitely along with that, a little bit of, just gamemanship between the coaches. I definitely feel like the Ravens made the appropriate adjustments defensively. Because, again, clearly they did, because no more points were scored in the game by the Texans. Second half, sad. Whenever you get no points in a half, that's sad. That's not good. It's sad. But yeah, man, the Ravens, so they turned up that heat on defense. Didn't let CJ stay comfortable in the pocket. Had him, making him use those legs, which again he showed out. But you can't do it all by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And they kept putting the pressure on. Secondary did its job well enough, and like I said, you know what I'm saying, they kept the penalties down, you know what I'm saying, which is big. Obviously there's always a couple of missed penalties, but they kept the penalties down, and you know what I'm saying, if that defense continue to play like that in the coming week, we gonna see a real one. That's gonna be an ill game. I'm gonna talk about the upcoming championship weekend on my next episode, so I'm not even going to touch the matchups right now. I'm just going to keep it as clean as possible and talk about these games. Yeah, Lamar in the second half, him and his troop, they just put on a master class. My man was just bombing and weaving in the pocket, scrambling for yards. I think he had like a 20-yard run. Just straight up the gut real quick. Then he had the actual QB call run that went extremely like what did he run for 2 touchdowns? Let me look at some of these stats real quick. Let me open those up real quick. But yeah, man, he was balling. And I mean, everybody showed up. He hit Likely with a few. He hit Flowers. Hill was doing his thing. Edwards was running the ball effectively. The Baltimore Ravens in the second half showed why they are a championship caliber team. Why they are ready to go to the next level. let's see, Lamar went 16 of 22 for 152 passing, but he added to that with his 11 carries for 100 yards, 100-yard rushing day, and 2 touchdowns. Like, what are we doing? And he threw no interceptions. Clean game. Clean game. Yeah, man. Lamar, do your damn thing. I thought Cook was going to be the big deal as far as the running game. But Justice Hill, he did the heavy work. He did the heavy work. 13 carries for 66 yards. Gus Edwards added something, you know what I'm saying, with 10 carries for 40 yards. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. And like I said, he spread the ball around quite a bit. I've been a little bit kind of like about the lack of production from OBJ, but you know the way that works is he draws so much attention. He has so many eyes on him that's what kind of helps open up the field for Flowers and Likely. So I'm not totally surprised, but I am still a little disappointed. Like, when you get OBJ on the squad, you're supposed to make it a point to make him a factor in the game at some point. And I didn't feel like he was utilized at all. Maybe that's a we wait and use that in the championship round thing. I don't know. But I know that you got a talent like that. You got to use that talent. You got to highlight that talent. He's got to be made a part of the game plan. So hopefully that will work more in the championship round, or happen more in the championship round. But again, they got away with it because, again, you know, they have full production. They have full production. Flowers, Bateman, Likely, Aguilar, Odell. Then they had out the backfield, Hill catching them, Gus catching one. So, you know, again, he's not discriminating. Everybody in the Lamar Code gets some work. You know what I'm saying? They put in some work. So, I mean, again, end of that game, score was 10-34, and it just felt like that's what it was supposed to be. That's what it was supposed to be. No, it's the Ravens. #1 seed. Been killing it. This is the year, y'all. This is the year Lamar shows out. Like, I really don't believe anybody stopping him from catching a ring this year. He's in his bag. He's in his zone, and he's got the full complement. And barring injuries, I don't see nobody stopping them right now from completing this run. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, that's why they play the game. But I don't know. So that was that, and like I said, yeah, and I definitely had the Ravens. Again, I believe in the last episode I said, you know, C.J. Stroud is the younger version of Lamar, but he's playing slightly more mature than Lamar did when he was at that age or at that point in the career, in terms of being super poised and staying in the pocket a lot more. Whereas when Lamar first got in the league, he 100% was on flex mode. He was out of there, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, with an understandable caveat that, you know, his line and protection at the time still was kind of shaky, so he had to get out of there. But CJ seems to be, you know, like I said, way more balanced and way mature beyond the years of his experience on the NFL football field. So I look forward to seeing him in the future, but it was the younger version of them versus the more mature and seasoned version. So I expected this to be the outcome. I expected the Ravens to cruise to a victory, and that's exactly what they did. So next game, that passed on Saturday, was the Packers versus the Niners. Again, I don't believe that I had any real belief that the Packers were going to win this game. I did trust that they would show up and ball, because, again, Jordan Love has shown that he's for real. He's for real. He stepped into the void of Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay. You can feel good. You can feel good about your future. You're fine as far as QB goes. Now, that could just be, you know, his first starting year, and maybe we haven't, you know, next year, defenses will be a little bit more aware of how mobile he is, who his favorite targets are, where his strengths are in terms of where he, makes his most reception connections on the field. So, there'll be more film on him, obviously. But I gotta tell you, if they continue to put the talent around them, and they do have some talent there, you know what I'm saying, to work with, I don't see any reason why Jordan Love in the future won't continue to be great. But this game was it was an actual good game, very good game actually. The Green Bay Packers truly challenged the 49ers for quite a while in this game. There were a few lead changes, I think about 3 or 4 lead changes in this game. So it wasn't like the Niners just ran away with this at all. The Pack, they did their thing, but they showed early on they were kind of not ready, in my opinion, when they went for it on 4th down real early. I think it might have still been first quarter, and they went for it on 4th down. I don't feel like the field position was right for them to be going for it on 4th down. They ended up, and they didn't make it happen. So they gave the ball to the 49ers with short field, or with good field position. So it wasn't a good way to start the game, being super risk takers for no reason. Like, it didn't seem right. It didn't feel right. They got lucky because I think the Niners only scored actually a field goal off of that. You know what I'm saying? But again, and I think the Packers' next drive they did score, so they went up. I think it was 7-3, and then I think the Niners scored another field goal, as a matter of fact, so it was 6-7. So the Packers were doing their thing in terms of playing a good game. But the Niners were going to get cooking, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't keep the production down, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was not going to happen. So it wasn't a surprise that the Niners, pushed back, took the lead. It was more surprising that Green Bay was able to push back themselves and retake the lead, you know what I'm saying, for the Niners to have to fight back at the end and get what they needed to. Now, at the end of the game, 4th quarter, there's a lot of actual nuance to the story of the 49ers, of course. And one of the big ones is, how good is Brock Purdy? Is he really a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL? Which is a stupid question at this point. The people who ask this, you're dumb. You're dumb for continuing this conversation. It's not a real conversation. I'm having it right now because it's such a big conversation piece, but it's not a real question. Brock Purdy's for real. So there's a thing where people talk about, oh, he's just so surrounded with talent, and they've never had to play from behind, and he doesn't know what it means to have to, meet the moment type of thing. But he did. He did it in this game. Like, they were behind in the 4th quarter. Going in the 4th quarter, the Niners were down, and he had to do his thing to put them in position so that they could actually score and take the lead. And he did. He did his thing. They scored. They took the lead. Now, he's not really being given any kind of credit or love for it, because now they're looking at it and they go, oh, well, he's the reason they were down. Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's just stupid. You know what? I'm going into a conversation that I'm probably going to have in the comeback, because there was a lot of conversation around this in the media. So let me pause on that. Let's just talk about the game again. So the game was awesome. Like I said, I thought it was thrilling. Went all the way down to the 4th quarter. Brock, I thought, did a masterful job of doing what you're supposed to do if you are trying to become one of the elites in the NFL, and that's to accept the moment, drive your team down the field, and score. And he did his job. He did his thing. Green Bay had plenty of time to actually come back and score and make it either a tie game or take the lead. And then a little bit of rookie came out of Jordan Love. And I say rookie because it was the 4th quarter. I think we were under 3. I think it's under 3 minutes, you know what I'm saying? But they got timeouts. And in 3 minutes it means you also got the 2-minute warning. So it's time. It's time. He's good. He don't have to be like hectic. But he got hectic. And on a first, I think it was a 1st and 10. On a 1st and 10, he scrambles and does one of the cardinal reckless quarterback things. He's running one way and he throws back the other way. I don't know if people who've, if you're checking this out and you've never actually thrown footballs, that's a no-no. It's always almost the most difficult pass to make. It's not a thing that can't be done, but it's a thing you probably shouldn't do unless it's absolutely necessary and you are confident it's gonna work. I mean, like, it can't be any chance that you're messing this up, because the thing is, the probabilities are low. Like, when you're going this way and you're throwing that way, there's more people between you and the person you're throwing the ball to usually. So again, it's just all bad. You don't want to do it. And Jordan Love did it. He's scrambled out because he had to, but it was supposed to be this was supposed to be when you go into don't do more than is available. Take what is given to me. He's clearly in a take what's given to me moment. 1st and 10, we've got timeouts and time on the clock. We drive this down the field, we can win the game. He tried to be a hero. He tried to put the cape on and be a hero. And he threw an interception. And that's how his season's gonna end now. It's him throwing an interception. I hope this doesn't actually stay with him. I hope he's able to next season shake that right off, come into the season clean slate, and make it happen. Because, young quarterback, confidence can be shaky, it can be. So again, Jordan, salute to you, my guy. Applause. Great season. You led that team way further than anyone expected you to, other than, of course, probably people in your own franchise who really just feed you nothing but we expect greatness. Regular, everybody, non-committed to any team people who are just out here watching and enjoying, we didn't think you were doing too much with this team. It was like, will you potentially make possibly a bottom slot into the playoffs if you're lucky type thing. No one thought you would be there, is all I'm saying. No one. If you'd have finished 3rd in your division, everyone would have been like, that's a good season, because you didn't finish last. That's what we expected. And you, sir, you exceeded expectation. Good job. And the 49ers, hopefully y'all get Debo back, because good God, that looked so much more challenging than I feel like it should have been. That's the thing right now with the Niners for me is, it was cool watching them finally recognize and wake up and use Kittles. Amazing tight end. Totally seems to have been pushed to the wayside with McCaffrey and with Debo, and then the addition of McCaffrey. Feel like once McCaffrey came, they just started using Kittle strictly for blocking. And my man got hands. He got hands for real. So y'all need to stop acting like y'all don't know and make sure y'all keep him in the game plan. Again, maybe this is that, just like with the Ravens and Odell, maybe that's a Niners plan, is we're keeping him, on back burner until we get to the championship or the Super Bowl. I don't know, because the man is there, super talented. I don't understand. You're supposed to utilize all the weapons all the time. Give it to them until they can't take no more. That's what's supposed to happen. But anyway, I digress. The Niners did their job and they won the game. So, kudos to them. The final score for that game, just because I did it for the last one, 24-21. Yeah, like I said, nail biter right down to the end. Like I said, yeah, the Green Bay Packers literally, they didn't even have to score a touchdown. They could have got down there and scored a field goal and tied it and went to overtime. Like I said, Jordan, learn from the experience, bro. Learn from the experience. That's a tough loss, but you'll be better for it. You'll be better for it. Then we had the Bucks. The Bucks on Sunday. Sunday. We had the Bucks start off things playing the Lions. Now, I thought this game was a coin toss going in, and well, it was a battle game, and I think Mayfield, Baker, he did his thing. He showed that, again, he can be a starting quarterback in this NFL game. I don't know why anybody ever doubted it, but he only took a franchise that was trash and made them a playoff team, and then went to another place and helped them in the playoffs win a game. And, you know, I'm just saying, give the man his respect. You know what I'm saying? Now he's gone and stepped into the shoes that used to be filled by Tom Brady and got that team back into the playoffs. Like, I'm just saying, respect that guy's work. But the game was good. Let's see what I got down here. Early mistake by Bake with the interception. Of course, Detroit, though, again, you know, couldn't just run over the defense. They only ended up getting 3 out of it. So it wasn't as bad of a burn as it could have been. Plus, again, he fought his way back, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they Tampa Bay, they also missed out on 3 points early on with the missed field goal. From, like, I think it was like 40 yards or something like that. Like, can't leave them points out there. That's playoffs. Talking playoffs. You can't leave points out there. Are you crazy? So the doinker, that hurt them. That hurt them for sure. That starts the questionabilities on, can we rely on our kicker? So, you know, that's a whole thing. But I thought they, again, they battled well. First half was extremely tight. Matter of fact, yep, that's right. I got a note here that says at the end of the third quarter, they were tied again, 17-17. So, again, going into the fourth quarter tie game, you know you got yourself a battle going. So this was not an easy game for the Lions at all, but I want to give them props. Well, let me first continue with the Bake Show and the Bucks. Again, I just, the way he's able to continue to work and connect with Evans and Godwin, like, it's very impressive, especially Evans. Him and Mike Evans definitely are developing good rapport. I thought Mike could have probably got the flag on the play where he was in I think that was for a 2-point conversion. Yeah, 2-point conversion. He was in the back of the end zone in the corner, but he kept backpedaling, and the defender just stuck with him. And had he just stopped and let the defender run him over to show the ref that, hey, he's impeding my progress to the ball, he'd have got a flag. But because he just kept two-stepping it back, no flag. So tough miss on the 2-point conversion. But again, they did it in a very calculated way. They could have scored another touchdown if they were going to definitely get another opportunity. And if they scored a touchdown, and then they would have just had to run the 2-point conversion again and be successful, and it would have been a tie game. So the math and the logic was sound. I don't know if I would have necessarily gone for the 2-point conversion, FYI. I think I probably personally would have just kicked the regular kick. And then if we score another touchdown, then we can decide if we want to run the 2-point conversion game and go for the win during regulation, or just kick it and get the tie. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, like I said, analytics and stuff like that do make it seem like it's a sensible thing to attempt the 2-point conversion in that moment. And I think they could have had it. They really were close. But again, relying on a flag is definitely never the thing you want to do first and foremost, because again, they get the flag, they still just got to try again. It's not like they get 2 points. So you don't know that they would have made it if the flag was thrown. It just would have been another free attempt. So again, that was tough, but again, it showed that Tampa Bay was fully engaged, fully in the game, and again, they were going to do whatever it took. They were going to ball. So again, salute to the Bucks on a great season. But the Lions are like, hey, we're not a number 2 seed for nothing, Bucky. So their whole squad, like, I've been aware that the Lions have talent, but the way they balled out, especially Amon Ra St. Brown has been balling all season. He's been one of the top receivers in the NFL all season. So there was never really a question. And again, you knew they had an outstanding receiver on the core, because you don't get to be a number 2 seed and not have a weapon out there that is real. So St. Brown, I 100% knew he was going to be a baller. It was just, what was the rest of the team going to do? And they did get production from pretty much all around the squad, but especially the running game. Gibbs was amazing. Breakout game as far as I'm concerned. And now he got a expectation on him now. You know what I'm saying? He got to actually go and perform like that throughout the rest of these playoffs, and going into next year, there's going to be a high level of expectation on it, because he went bananas. My man broke like a 30-something yard runoff or something like that. Like, yo, he was in there. He was out there balling. I just really. Yeah, I just really respected the way he showed out. So that was impressive to me. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at a little bit of the stat game. I ain't been playing the stat game. Hold on, let's see. Because again, he 100% impressed me. 9 rushes or carries, for 74 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, longest run, 31 yards. Yo, he was balling. Like I said, the rest of the team, they was in there. Again, Gibbs did some receiving as well, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, 8 receptions for 77 yards, baller. Laporta, I'm surprised at how productive he was, because he didn't see, I was looking for him more, and I thought he was going to be a huge factor. Watching the game, I didn't feel like he was quite as big a factor, but he didn't do terrible. 9 receptions, 65 yards, so he did his thing. But he only had 1 big play, 15 yards. Again, I thought I would see more from him. He has been an outstanding target for Goff throughout the season. Williams showed me something. Then he got busy, you know what I'm saying? He definitely passed the ball around, which is what you want from a good quarterback. You got to be able to hit all your targets, not just be locked in on one, because then you give the defense all the clues and they know who to watch out for. So I thought it was very good. And then the defense turned up at the end of the game and gets the interception on Baker. Now, obviously, you can blame it on Baker because it's like, he threw the ball. But, the defender's got to be there and catch the ball. He's got to do both of those things. And if you don't know, there's a reason that there are cornerbacks and safeties are not wide receivers, and it's that they can't catch the ball. They got terrible hands. So it was impressive that the defense was able to get the turnover, close the game out. Beautifully done. Congratulations. And they move on. Championship Sunday. Of course, now they got to go play those 49ers I was just talking about. So, it's a good game. It's going to be a good game. That's going to be interesting. Goff versus Purdy. 2 guys who are clearly underrated quarterbacks in the NFL. This is going to be an interesting game. It's going to be an interesting game. I think so anyway. So, there you go. And then last game of the evening, Sunday, Chiefs. I gotta say it the right order. Chiefs versus the Bills. See, now in the past it was always usually, and when you say like big contest, you name the contender and then the challenger and then the champion. You know what I'm saying? And normally, obviously, that would mean when you say these two teams, it'd be like obviously they're versus the Chiefs, right? Because the Chiefs own everything. But no. This time around, Chiefs, they the low man on the pole because they going to Buffalo. This one ain't at Arrowhead. And so the Bills was supposed to come out here in that whole no flex zone. Get them out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's their opportunity. Josh Allen, slay that demon. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? That didn't happen. That didn't. Aw, Joshy Poo. I'm so sorry for you, my friend. But you go down. You go down. Listen, man, you getting down to the best, though. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a question that Patrick Mahomes is 100% elevating his squad. You know what I'm saying? Which is what the real greats do. They make their team better. So, I mean, it's not unexpected. It's not unexpected that this game went the way it went. I do believe it was a good game. They definitely did challenge them. There's no slight on Josh Allen and his performance. I do still kind of stand by my early comments, having taken this L. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Let me just talk about the game. I'm talking about the after effects. That's going to be part of the comeback. The game. So the game was great. Let's see here. We had an exchange of field goals in the first quarter. So again, a lot of defense, you know what I'm saying? A lot of balls moving up and down the field, but not cutting it, you know what I'm saying? Not getting it done. So field goals. Then we had finally Joshy Poo runs it in for 5-yard touchdown. Again, he used his legs very effectively in this game. I think this is, he had the one play that was, a little bit hanky in terms of like he did like a thing where he kind of like paused, like he might decide to go down, but then he didn't. He kept running, and that's Josh. You cheating, bro. You cheating. Somebody gonna knock you out one day for that. That's all I'm gonna say about it. He runs headlong though into defenders all the time. He is 100% built for it because he runs into people a lot. But as said before, with running quarterbacks, that's not how you keep them healthy. You know what I'm saying? So you can go ahead and act like you a running back quarterback if you want to. That body gonna wear down real fast. The NFL years gonna pile on you like freaking bricks, bro. You don't want that. No one's built for that. That's the bottom line. So but yeah, they battled. They battled back and forth. It was a tight contest. And, at the end of it all, what we had was the Chiefs taking the lead. Yeah, the Chiefs taking that final lead in the fourth quarter and leaving it up to the Bills to decide whether or not, they was going to push it into overtime, or if they were going to try to really go for the win, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that they were doing a good job moving the ball. But in the end, we were kind of put in a position of, okay, so the Chiefs do what they do, take the lead. The Bills have a chance to come back, do their thing. But the thing is, the way the time was working, the way the clock was going, I don't think that the Bills were going to wind down the clock far enough to stop Patrick Mahomes from getting back on the field. And so that meant the Bills kind of had to score a touchdown. And I feel like maybe that pressure of that sat in the back of Allen's head. You know what I'm saying? That, oh, I got to make sure that we score a touchdown, because he kind of forced it. He kind of forced it at the end, and yeah, they ended up coming up short. Cause yeah, I mean that first and foremost, the throw to, I think it was Diggs that was in the end zone, and he flicks it. And I mean, listen, there were a couple plays back in like the third where he ripped one, and I mean the way he flicked that bad boy, I was like, good God, that he just chucked it like 60 yards, like it was nothing, like it came off his hand tight. But when he needed it, he didn't have the pocket awareness to take that step to the right, keep himself free from his lineman. And everybody's saying the step on his foot situation affected him to the degree where he basically was like 10 yards short of where he needed that ball to be. I don't know. I'm just saying, Mr. Arm Cannon, I thought that you could have made that throw. That was huge for you to miss that throw. Obviously, you know, there were big time drop passes by players on the Bills, Stephon Diggs included. There was big time. But yeah, I think that in the end, as it got to the fourth quarter, third quarter, by the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, I felt like, oh well, this is a Chiefs game. This is a Chiefs game. Patrick Mahomes is gonna own this. So there it is. Oh my gosh, look at the time. I've spouted on for long enough about the NFL. On my next episode, I shall get into my thoughts on the championship Sunday that's coming up. The final two championship matchups go and before the Super Bowl, and those are going to be awesome. I try to have more detailed thoughts on, you know, player matchups and things like that. So again, hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap and my little rant on 2 cents on things. But yeah, man, yeah, NFL action, man. I'm just gonna be so sad when it's gone. I am. It's gonna be devastating. What will we do with our time? We'll figure it out. All right, let me close this and move on to the last segment of today's episode, the comeback.